How does that sound? Gold Cup winning trainer Gavin Cromwell.
It's, yeah, a bit surreal really, to be honest, but I like the ring to it.
Was it easy to convince Frank and JP?
It was, yeah, it was. There was no convincing at all.
Stumptown. He's just made that cross-country discipline his own, hasn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable really. He'd lost his way and we said we'd give him a shot at the cross-country.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Inside Track, brought to you by William Hill, where we've come down to the Kingdom County of Kerry, more specifically to Tralee Golf Club, to catch up with William Hill ambassadors Gavin Cromwell and Keith Donoghue, to look back on what was a spectacular 24-25 season for them, to catch up on some of their stable stars, and of course to look ahead to the season ahead. But considering we're on the eve of the Listowel Harvest Festival, it would be prudent to get the inside track on that too. Gavin, I don't think we could have got a more picturesque and more serene setting for this interview, but seeing as I'm interviewing a Gold Cup winning trainer, we had to kind of pull out all the stops. How does that sound? Gold Cup winning trainer Gavin Cromwell.
It's, yeah, a bit surreal really, to be honest, but I like the ring to it.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be?
A jockey. Had a go at that. Was very bad at that.
At what stage of our life did we realise that wasn't going to happen?
I went to Desi Hughes for 2 summer holidays, and the second year I wanted to stay, and Desi told my father, send him back to school. And in fairness to him,
Is it good advice?
yeah, it was. And listen, I was only a kid, but I took it on board. But I still had a go at it. But yeah, ended up being a farrier.
So the dream changed from winning a Gold Cup as a jockey to hopefully training one. And obviously we know you've had a long road. You were a farrier, you built your stable up from Jersgirl to Aspirations. But we skip forward to this season, or the last seasons that just passed. Numerically, you had your strongest ever year. You had some real quality in the yard.
It was a brilliant year all the way through, really. We were lucky enough to win a lot of the big handicaps, and you know, it just kept one big meeting roll into the next. It was great.
And more specifically, of course, with Inothewayurthinkin, you'd have a horse that was a Grade 1 winning novice chaser. He's coming into his open year and the king is Galopin Des Champs. At what stage did you realistically think this is potentially top drawer? This horse could actually dethrone the king?
Yeah, we were well into the season before we realised it really. You know, it was slow enough to start.
Well, take me back to the John Durkin. It was a stellar renewal of the race. Every horse legitimately was dreaming of big things at that stage of the year. How did that day go for you? We always knew it was going to be difficult enough. First run in open company, you know, just leaving your novice year behind you. 2.5, we thought could be on the sharp side. And his jumping, you know, I know he was a Grade 1 winner and he won a Kimura, but his jumping was sticky enough the previous year. And it was going to be difficult, but he jumped well, but I think just the 2.5 and I suppose when the race quickened, you know, he found it tough, but it was still. I think he learned a lot that day.
He did learn. He learned a lot. Keith was very good on him, and you know, he taught him so much through the year, from race to race, and his jumping kept improving. Yeah,
and as it transpired, the first 2 from the Gold Cup were in it. The Ryanair Chase winner were in it. On the day we thought it was a good race, and it transpired to be the strongest, probably one of the strongest races run last season. You go from there to Leopardstown, you put him in the Gold Cup, you take him out of the Gold Cup. Talk us through that process.
We thought it was a year too early for him. You know, the Gold Cup, it was a step too far. I suppose we go on then from Christmases. He ran well at Christmas, but and he.
You wouldn't have thought at Christmas that he'd finish in the first 3 in a Gold Cup.
No, you would not. You would not. But he did. He ran well enough. But I suppose you go from there to the Dublin Racing Festival, and you know, that was a massive step forward from Christmas to that.
And what do you think made the difference? Because you're only talking a month and a bit, and he looked like a completely different horse when he met Galopin Des Champs in February.
Yeah, I'd say the experience is a big thing, and He's a very hard horse to get fit. As much work as we were doing with him, as we were doing as much as you really could do, but he has such a big engine. He can take it all. You know, he's no matter how hard you worked him, the next day he was on his toes.
Often you hear Aidan O'Brien and Willie Mullins talk about the difference between the good and the great horses, and the great horses can take all of what's asked and more.
Yeah.
Do you find now that you're getting the better quality of horse, and obviously he being the best of them, that's even a learning curve for you?
It's massive learning curve for me, and that's the one thing that I noted, and I found that out for myself from the horses in the past. When you work them hard, you know, it takes them a bit of time to get over it, but this fella just bounced out the next day and just give me more.
So at what stage between Dublin Racing Festival and Cheltenham did we think, let's have a crack? He's 7-year-old. You thought it was a year too soon, only a couple of months beforehand. It looked like it was Galloping the Champs trifecta. He was going to be, we were already crowning him the next best mate before he crossed the line. At what stage did you think, let's have a rattle at this?
Yeah, I thought, like, he was staying on really well in the finish at the Dublin Racing Festival, and he bounced out of that race really well. And you know, his trainer, you know, for the next few weeks after that, he just improved at home, you know, and I just thought we could bridge that gap.
Was it easy to convince Frank and JP?
It was, yeah, it was. There was no convincing at all, and
See, that's the beauty, isn't it? Like somebody who's
Yeah.
game on, let's go for it, and win, lose or draw.
yeah,
The ambition is there.
absolutely.
Because I remember chatting to you, I think it was the Tuesday morning at Cheltenham. You had a huge team at the festival. 6.5 was the banker. Stumptown was nearly the next best. And later on in the interview, I asked you about I Know the Way You're Thinking, and you were purring like a kitten. You were absolutely smitten with him. He was obviously doing everything right from the moment you landed in Prestbury Park.
Listen, the couple of weeks leading up to Cheltenham, we were, you know, I won't say confident, but very happy with him.
Because the beauty, I suppose, you'd actually raced against Galloping the Champs. You were a novice coming into Open Company for the first season, but you had the beauty of actually getting a little bit of a parameter on how good you needed to be to take down the reigning champ. Some horses you won't have that. You know, especially the horses coming in from the UK, they won't have met him until they get to Cheltenham.
Yeah, and you know, he'd run against him for the season, and definitely we had a good parameter.
Yeah. So talk about it. Talk about the day. Mark Walsh was to ride him. Keith was riding him all that season. Mark obviously knew him from his novice year. How were the nerves? Were the family over? Jake was there. Kiva was there.
Yeah.
Just talk about the day itself. Can you remember much of it?
Yeah, I can indeed. Yeah, I suppose nervous, all right, but good nerves. You know, it's excitement more than nerves. Everything was, all the stars were aligning. Really, you know, we were very happy with the horse, and he was bouncing over there, and
You couldn't wait to get going.
couldn't wait to get going. To be honest, yeah.
And before you got to the Friday, you'd had a few crossbars. 6.5, only by night.
Yeah.
Stumptown was good. How was your week
Yeah.
going up until then?
I suppose, listen, the horses were running really well. I think we only had 2 or 3 that didn't get up into the main winners enclosure, you know, the placings enclosure. A few that, you know, just near misses. But they were running really well. So
Yeah,
that, you know,
it's Cheltenham.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Like once they're running well, that's the big thing.
That's all you can ask for. And I know his full sister, Limerick Lace, not simple. She could come into the parade ring, as she has come into the parade ring in Cheltenham, and completely lost her mentality.
Yeah.
I was keen then to see him and see how he'd behave, given that he's only a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
He's rock solid mentally, isn't he?
Unbelievable. He's just so cool. Yeah.
A bit like yourself.
I wish.
Where did you watch it from? How were you feeling as you saw the race develop?
Watched it on the track down beside the last fence. Jake actually came down with me. Watched most of the races down there.
You're looking up at the grandstand, the tsunami of people. Do you feel it? Do you hear it? Or do you just zone out?
I tried to zone out down there, really, to be honest. It's just a little bit quieter, and works for me.
Okay, so you saw him take Galopin Des Champs in the home straight. What was that like? Was that an out of body moment, or were you just, this is what I do it for?
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
Can't describe it really.
When Willie Mullins won the Aintree Grand National this year, he said, I wish my parents were here, I wish my mother, and they would love that.
Yeah.
Was there a bit of that for you?
There is, of course, yeah. Both my parents are dead as well, and it's time.
They would have been so proud. That would have been...
Absolutely,
yeah. So you take him home, and immediately there's talk of the Grand National. He's in it. He's hot favourite. What a double would it be? History in the making. What was the thinking process?
Yeah, so listen, on paper, you can see he was favourite, and he was a worthy favourite.
You can see the logic as well, because the stamina, the jumping, it looked like the ideal test. Had he not won the Gold Cup, it would have been an easy decision to run.
Yeah, it really was the wise decision for a young horse like that. I think as it transpires, he was taken out at the next stage, but as it transpires, he never would have run on the ground the way it was anyway.
Yeah, he was so dry, it was quickening all the time.
Yeah. But listen, the decision was made good and early, and it was easy really.
Do you see that race in his future? And obviously we hope he has a huge future and a long career, because he's only just turning 8 in the 2026 season. But do you see the Grand National as a possibility?
Listen, you couldn't rule it out, but hopefully he's a Gold Cup horse for the.
You want a couple more then before you go to the Grand National?
Absolutely, yeah. He's certainly, at the moment, he's certainly not going to be the handicapped horse that he was in this year's.
Probably not your best handicapped horse, no.
No.
Joint highest rated chaser in training, 176.
Exactly.
Tell me, you obviously have built your own little empire, courtesy of the likes of Jers Girl and Esbordalin, and with Limerick Lace, and now I know the way you're thinking, a homebred for the McManus family. Does that make it even sweeter? He's essentially been with you from get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. He won his maiden hurdle in Cork, and it's and I've had all of the family, which is great. Yeah, it's
his
nice.
brother wasn't quite as fast.
No.
Not that he's fast, but he's just got class, doesn't he? He just digs in.
Yeah. From the time he landed, he just looked like he could be the Gold Cup horse.
A bit different. So take me forward to this season. You had 4 runs last year. You started with the John Durkin. Does it write itself, or are you going to change things up?
I'd say it pretty much writes itself. Nothing written in stone, but I'd say we could follow a similar path. It doesn't have to run in all the races either, so all the boxes will want to be ticked before he'll be running, but I would imagine a similar path.
Is it fair to think, given his age profile, that he's going to be better this year?
Possibly, yeah. He's come back in looking fantastic and very strong, so yeah, you certainly couldn't rule that out. So
he's back in training. How does he look? Has he got a lot of weight to lose?
He does. He came back in weighing 4 kilos heavier than last year.
From when he came in training last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I think nearly on the same day. But he actually looks stronger. So
frightening prospect.
Yeah. I don't listen.
I think Galopin Des Champs at his peak was 180.
Right. Okay.
So you're 176. Just saying.
Yeah.
You can get there. I think a big part of the campaign for the Irish horses, and I may well be completely off on this, is that we meet the Cheltenham calibre horses before we get to Cheltenham. That match practice is vital. And you talk about his progression through the season. Surely that benefits the Irish horses going across.
Yeah, well, listen, there's no hiding place for sure.
Because there's an Irish Gold Cup. That means a lot to us as well. That's a big race in its own right.
Oh, it is for sure, absolutely. And all of those races, you know, Leopardstown, Christmas and the John Durkin, you know, they all mean a lot, those races.
Yeah, they're major milestones.
Yeah.
So that's another way you're thinking. Looking at some of the other stars, Hello Neighbour at the Dublin Racing Festival became your first Irish winner, Irish Grade 1 winner in 4 years. I hadn't realised it had been that long.
Yeah, I did.
I'd say you did.
Yeah, it just shows the strength and depth of of Irish racing, you know, and the dominance that Willie has in the Grade 1s. It's just so difficult.
Lovely big horse, not a simple ride, quite keen. Keith has to get down to minimum to ride him as a juvenile. He ran well enough in the Triumph. Where do you see him going this season?
Yeah, it's always difficult to step from novice company into senior company.
Yes,
But
you won the champion hurdle with a 5-year-old.
Yeah, but it is particularly hard, I think, for a juvenile. It's a bit of a double whammy. So it's difficult to say. You know, I suppose it's not. You don't know till you try it. But he is a very nice horse, and you know,
Will
he's
stay
a great
over
winner.
hurdles?
Yeah, he'll stay over hurdles for the moment.
Okay, so that's him. The mare that showed so much speed, 6.5, barely gets 2 miles. Does she barely get 2 miles?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like she got it well in bumpers, you know, and yeah, she's not very big.
She was unlucky at Cheltenham, like
She
call
was
a spade a
unlucky.
spade. Just
She-
the way the race worked out, it was a difficult position. Keith just found himself there.
Yeah, she just could have done with a lead down over the last,
Yeah.
you know, and she ran really well. But it was disappointing to get beat when I thought she was home and hosed.
Felt she was the right one, and
Yeah.
I presume she just marks herself out for all those mares races this year.
Yeah, she could possibly go to the Irish Cesar, which she ran really well in last year again.
Yeah,
So we might start her off there.
hugely valuable flat race.
Yeah.
Talk to me about some of your others. I thought Only by Night was home. Oh my God, she was robbed in the Arkle.
Yeah, she was. I was delighted that we took the decision to go to the Arkle.
Yeah, because that was brave. You could have just kept her in her own gender. Mare's Chase, grand. But you're only a novice for 1 year, and I loved that logic. I'm only a novice for 1 year. We can go to the mares next year.
Yeah. I felt she could jump quick enough for the Arkle. Never, like last year, we didn't think she was a 2 miler, you know, she was more a 2.5 miler. But when she started jumping fences, she
Improved the stone.
She did, and she got faster for fences. Just felt at the Arkle, if you can jump really quick, keep yourself in a race, and you stay well, it's a huge asset. We were second in the Arkle before with Gavin Cromwell,
Yes.
who, you know, almost won a Drinmore. Stayed really well, and
It was a funny Arkle this year.
it was.
Any way the ball dropped, one of 3 horses could have won it.
Yeah, but she ran
She
a
looked like
belter. It would have been brilliant, fantastic. It was fantastic anyway.
Yeah.
And listen, she can run the mare's chase this year.
Another mare that I loved last year, and I suppose she disappointed towards the end because I thought she was nailed on for the Irish national, was Bioluminescence.
Yeah, I did as well, to be honest. I thought the stars were after aligning and she got her ground. And
What happened to her?
Yeah, I don't really know. She missed a couple of fences and just didn't get in a rhythm, and it just didn't happen for her.
Is she claustrophobic? Does she like or prefer small fields?
Possibly. It was her first time in a big field, but I thought big mare that she would be manly enough to bully her way around, but maybe not.
So with that in mind, what way do you campaign her this year?
I suppose, listen, mare's chases again. She probably won't be the easiest mare to place. You know, there's not very many races for her, and she does want heavy ground. Is her.
She
ideal
really
ground.
loves the mud, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. She's a big, old-fashioned chaser.
Could she win a Grade 1 on heavy ground over a distance?
You certainly couldn't rule it out. Yeah.
She's got that bit of quality. Another horse that has been a great flag bearer for you is Stumptown. He's just made that cross-country discipline his own, hasn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable, really. He'd lost his way, and we said we'd give him a shot at the cross country and see, could that turn him around. And
He's unrecognisable.
by God, it has.
He's a household name now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same this year, same as last year. Campaign him a bit differently.
A little bit different.
Do you have to keep him sweet? Is he a little bit clever?
He's fine. He's very simple to train. The only thing we found with him in the stay and chases, he just wasn't the bravest, and he'd miss fences and get himself shuffled back, and but listen, not in the cross country.
He'd be quite happy to fall away out the back there, but not
anymore.
He seems to just love the versatility of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, so we're going to go to the Party Beachy with him.
Fabulous.
In October,
right.
So it'll be interesting.
I'd say you're going to go to the end of Bulger route. Will Keith be able to ride him there?
Yeah.
Cool. Party Beachy.
That's the plan.
For Stumptown. One horse that you were operating without, one of your favourites, one of the stable stars, was Flooring Porter. Obviously dual stairs champion over hurdles, Kerry national winner emphatically. How is he?
He's still doing a rehab program, and we're getting close to starting back, but he just has to complete that, and we'll see how the rest of that goes.
So you won't have him for the Listowel Harvest Festival, or if you're in Kerry, Listowel. What will you have? Any names that we can keep an eye out for?
Possibly, maybe Ballysax Hank might go for the Kerry National. He's the
well placed last time, inspired bit of money grabbing of Sterling in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, it was kind of sweet, all right. Yeah.
Market raising, no less.
Yeah, nice pot.
And I believe William Hill are sponsoring a very valuable hurdle there, so I presume they've marked your card. Is there a stuntman Steve going to make an appearance?
There is
somewhere?
a stuntman Steve, and I'd say maybe come on the lads that he won a nice pot in Galway. So
that's real pressure.
Yeah.
I know the way you're thinking stuff is easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So with the season ahead of us, were we going to aspire to even go one better? Another Gold Cup, maybe a Grand National, more than 86 winners? Sounds simple, doesn't it?
It sounds, listen, hard to improve on last year, but we'll certainly give it a go.
You have a new gallop. You're building all the time. The team's getting bigger and stronger. I presume every year you just try and go that step higher.
Yeah. If you're not growing, you're dying.